Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm Rantoinette. Please like and subscribe. Now let's get into it. Well, it looks like the stock market just fell off a cliff. Green line go up? No, 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 no. Red line go down. Go down. Rich people very sad. And it will matriculate to the rest of us because I'm already seeing layoffs happen. And with the firings that are going on in the government side and the layoffs happening in the private sector, this is not looking good, folks. It's not looking good. Donald Trump gets out there on Liberation Day, is what he called it, Liberation Day, and he's got his little chart in his hand, and it's got numbers and names of countries, and he seems to be tariffing every country, including I believe, a South Pacific island with penguins on it. Nobody else, uninhabited, just penguins, and he's got a 10% tariff on them, so I guess they're not buying their tuxedos from us anymore. It also seems like the math that he's using is from AI. It's some kind of, our trade disparity times this number minus this number, and then cut in half because, I'm a good guy and I only do half of it. But the numbers are absolute bullshit. I believe a couple people have done a study, or not a study, they just did a little try on Grok and Chat GPT. It's like, what's an easy way to do tariffs? And they're cranking out very similar numbers to what Trump came up with. But they're all coming on numbers that are not true. For instance, he's saying that Vietnam has got a 90% tariff against us. And it's like 1.5% tariff. Don't know where he's getting the number from. And I think it's got to do with this trade disparity, where they're not buying as many products as we're buying of them. But that's the way the capitalistic model has been working. This is the model that people like him, especially conservatives, free trade people, have been doing for years. And on one side of the equation, you've got we as an American economy, we buy lots of products. We have more money and wealth in our country to buy other people's products. They in Vietnam don't have the money to buy American products as much as we buy from them. Now, keep in mind that a lot of these industries that are in Vietnam, for instance, are, like the Gap. They make clothes in Vietnam. They could make them here, and if that was what Donald Trump was wanting to do, was bring back clothing manufacturing here, I would understand that to some extent, although that is not happening because American workers are not going to work for as cheap labor wages as Vietnamese people are, or Sri Lankan people are, or Mexican people when they build our Ford F-150s. So if he's trying to do the reindustrialization of America, either they're going to have to pay Americans a higher wage, or they're going to make us so goddamn poor that we'll accept $2 an hour or $2 a day or whatever the hell a Chinese factory worker is working for. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe he just wants America so poor that they just work for scraps. He's been going on about when America was great. I remember during the first administration, he would always talk about we need to get America to go back to when, America was great. And everybody just assumed it was like the 1950s. But he's been very clear lately. The years that he likes are the late 1800s, the 1890s. And especially with President McKinley, he was assassinated. Doesn't really bode well for looking up to a guy that got assassinated, but he also did a lot of tariffs. So Donald Trump has been going off on his tariff. It's a beautiful word. It's just short of terrific. It's just a tariff. It's lovely. I love it. It's tariff, 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 tariff. Just like groceries, I just heard this word grocery. I've never shopped a day in my life, but I just heard this word grocery, and it's a wonderful word. And it's like when you put stuff in a bag and you pay for it. Amazing. But dude, it is not 1898 anymore. And if you look back on those days, it really wasn't a great time in America. There were like 4 people that were mega bucks wealthy: Rockefeller, Vanderbilt, Carnegie, and I can't remember the other guy. But everybody else was working for slave wages. Factories had children in them. It's like, I can't reach that cog in there. Here, little kid, stick your hand in there. Oh, he got his hand cut off. Well, there's another one down the drain. And, I've noticed a lot of red states are starting to reenact, to get rid of child labor laws so we can get some kids in there. I think that that's another way that they want to be able to save money. If he is trying to reindustrialize America, and he was doing it earnestly, you have to use a lot of government money, like in a planned economy. I'm not saying that we should do it like China, but China has a planned economy. We don't seem to have a plan. You would have to put money into those industries to get them to be able to weather the storm of tariffs and then build up our industry from within, and then be able to start making America an industrialized nation again. But that's a project that would take a decade. So you want us all to starve for 10 years? I don't think that Americans have got that in them. In fact, I know that they don't. And he seems to be upset at other countries saying that they're taking advantage of us. It's like, dude, the reason why those countries don't buy as many American products is because they're poor nations. We are the rich nation. There's so much wealth and money in this country. It's just being hoarded by a handful of people. Our new robber barons, the Jeff Bezos, the Zuckerberg, the Elon Musk, the guy from Google, who all happen to be standing behind him on Inauguration Day. Now, with the stock market crash, they do seem to be getting hit. And that might bring a little smile to your face, but these are the guys that have so much wealth that they'll just be able to weather this storm. And they will be getting their tax cuts, because ultimately that's the goal of this whole thing. Is Donald Trump wants to cut the government down to a very minuscule size so he can offset these tax cuts that he wants to make permanent. The number he's talking is $4.5 trillion in tax cuts. Now, keep in mind, not much of that is going to go to you, if any. And if you do get your tax rebate, he's closing down Social Security offices, but if you do get your tax rebate, you might get $200-300. Whoopee! The cost of everything is going to go through the damn roof. Your groceries are going to go up 20-25%. Everything that you buy is going to go up 20-25%. You think that $300 is going to be able to stretch over a year's worth of purchases? I don't think so. And let's not forget, there are certain things that are made outside of this country that we simply cannot make here. Like, for instance, coffee. We do not have the climate to grow coffee in this country, but yet we're putting tariffs on countries that make coffee. Now, I don't know about you, but I know most of my friends, they're coffee drinkers. They love their coffee. They need their coffee, especially since we're having to work 2 jobs. Everybody's got to have 2 jobs now to make ends meet. And you need a little bit of, caffeine to keep you going. But, caffeine, 25% more. You have to pay for that. What? Bananas. You can't grow bananas in this country unless what? You take over the island of Hawaii and make that just Banana State Incorporated. It's not the first time that happened. That's how Hawaii came into being. Dole, look it up. Scary, fascinating story. So the stock market has taken quite a tumble. It's gone down like, I don't know, like 1,600 points in one day. The stock market has lost 11 trillion with a T, trillion dollars, $11 trillion since inauguration day. And it does not show signs of stopping. So wealthy people are taking a hit, but they are going to be laying off a lot of people. And the irony of blaming other nations for trade deficits when the wealthiest people on the planet are the ones that are actually doing the robbing of you. And they were all at Trump's inauguration. So I don't know what the hell he's doing. I don't think he knows what the hell he's doing. But it seems like a recession is absolutely going to happen. I mean, in fact, I feel like we're in a recession right now. Whether or not that's going to be a depression, I don't know. We're not even 3 months into his term yet, and it's already looking really scary.